What's good, guys? It's your boy Hugo the Savage back again with another review. Yeah, man. Power Book 4 Force Season 2, Episode 3, entitled War and Ice Cream, and that's what it lived up to. Did it? Well, yeah, it really did by the actual words, War and Ice Cream. We'll say straight off the bat, there was a weird part in the show where, Tommy's nephew had ice cream on his top. I don't know, man, because, I know what the ice cream brand is, but I thought that was a bit cheesy. It can't even lie, because it didn't really relate to what was going on. But this episode kicked off where we left off in the last episode, pretty much. The last episode finished with a member of Jannard's crew trying to take out Tommy, for Tommy taking out one of his homeboys. Against the orders of Jannard, Diamond had squashed it with Jannard, told him not to do that because it would cause a war on the streets. He went against those orders and he tried to take out Tommy with a Mac-10 drive-by, ended up hitting a little girl. The little girl passed away. And we kick off from there, and Tommy's not happy about this at all, causing Diamond to sort it out pretty much, or he'll sort it out himself. Actually, he ends up speaking to Jannard about it as well, and says to John, listen, you need to find that guy and take him out. And that is the running theme in the back of this story of this. They're trying to take out this guy. In other parts of the story, the feds put together a task force of the FBI, and FBI and the feds together joined forces to put a task force together to take down the street gangs. And then there's a protest going on of what's already happened, which is very close to real life. It happens quite often, to be honest. So there's Tommy facing off against Walter, because Tommy still is trying to find out who killed Liliana, and that's all that's his main mission. I need to find out who killed Liliana. And in this episode, he goes to Walter to speak to him. Walter drops a few hints of who it was on accident, and then he kind of grasps who he thinks it is. It's like it's one of the kids. Kind of comes to the conclusion that it's Claudia, and comes face to face with her and tells her to his face, like, tell me. She says it's not, but from what she's saying and how her body language is, he picks up that it's her, and he says all he needs is confirmation. And once he gets that, he will kill her. And I thought that was a cold scene, because she's got security around, they're all pointing guns at each other. Tommy's pointing a gun at her. I will say, weird thing about these shows, and I know for dramatic and cinematic purposes, I know why the main character doesn't die. But for a hint of realism, Tommy went to Claudia, and he went to Walter on his own, armed with one gun. And each time he went, the first time with Walter, they tapped him down, didn't have the gun. Second time when he went to Claudia, he had one gun, he pointed at her face, but there was 4 security guards, bodyguards pointing a gun at him. And when she said she didn't kill anyone, he put his gun down and let the guards have it. And I'm like, if they wanted to get rid of Tommy forever, just get rid of him. Like, it's not really going to cause a war. Like, CBI is not going to go to war for Tommy. They don't really care about him. So I always think that's a bit interesting. In other parts of this, Tommy and Diamond moved their drug business into prisons now. So the lady that Diamond was chopping up, the prison guard, they're trying to move, weight in there. They have a problem with one of the gangs in there as well. Somebody that Diamond had put in a wheelchair and put in prison. So it was all going off in weird different situations. The part with the ice cream, we've just explained the war part, was another running theme in this. What I actually like, I spoke about this last week when we did a review, layers to Tommy's character is what they need in Power now. Because previously, he's had inklings of it throughout the original Power, but he always does go back to being hothead Tommy, and the only layers they ever give us him is he falls in love with one of the ladies and they die in it. Fell in love with Holly, fell in love with Lakeisha. So, Liliana's his homie, so you could say he loved the gun. And obviously when Holly died, she was pregnant as well. Dog, gone. So he has nobody, and now he's got his family. I like the running theme of his family being another layer to his situation. And now we've got Kate Egan, who is taken upon herself to go to an AA meeting, and now she's trying to make amends with her kids. But it's quite funny, because her way of making amends is just coming and saying sorry. Seeing the different reactions, because you've got the other brother with the deep-ass voice, and for him, his thing is, you haven't told me why you left us, that you never told me. And he's kind of picking up that the fact that, like, yo, you stayed with Tommy though, and it's only a year apart. Is it because I'm black? She ends up saying it was part of it, but down to how she was and her mom, and she was young at the time. And then for Tommy, he speaks a bit more about how he was treated as a kid, like 6, being left in the house for a week and all this stuff. And then he brings up a point saying all he wanted when he wanted to go to Coney Island and get some ice cream. And by the time we get to the end of this episode, he gets in the house and there's a tub of ice cream in the freezer, what Kate's brought to him, and then he can kind of see that she's trying to make amends. And there's a little sweet moment between them, which we haven't had through any Power at this point, because their relationships always seemed very weird and seedy. Like, I can't be the only one that feels like Kate wants to sleep with Tommy, and Tommy's, he turned into a little baby around her almost, and that the way she touches him and kisses him and stuff's not a mother and son relationship thing, so it's a bit weird. But I think that's because she doesn't know how to be a mum. So I like the fact of that. The thing what's worrying me though, and I'm just gonna call this right now, I think by the time we get to like towards the end of the season, the payoff, not the payoff, the trade-off that Tommy will have to live with is, because we see that he's kind of Maria, and she wasn't in this episode, but he texts her and stuff like this. I think he'll fall in love with her eventually, or have love for her. I think Kate might die, because I can't see him killing her brother. I think Kate might die in this, and I'm hoping that, because it would be nice for Tommy to get a happy ending, but who knows, man. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. Obviously, I'll be back next week. I'll be enjoying this. Comment, like, subscribe, and share, all of that.